Greetings and good afternoon. How are you, everybody? It's Dr. Ty Douglas, your border crossing brother. And I want to first off say happy Mother's Day weekend to all the mothers, all the mother figures out there. I'm so excited to be able to just spend a little time with you. I don't know about you, but man, this is just such an interesting time in our world. And I'm just excited for this conversation. Greetings to all of you across the world. I know we have folks who are listening from various places. I know Bermuda's in the house. Bermuda, if you're in the house, come on, type in the chat. Let us know that Bermuda's there. I know we got some folks from South Africa. I know we got some folks across the pond in England who are staying up late to watch it. We're just excited about this conversation. Our friends in the States, all across the United States, from the East Coast to the West Coast, welcome to this special Mother's Day event just for you. And I want to make sure I be clear about when I say for you who I'm talking about. This is for mothers, but it's for every single person that cares about mothers. I'm feeling like that should be everybody, all right? And I want to say that with all due respect to those maybe who have potentially, had challenging circumstances for mother, maybe some who have lost mothers. We want to acknowledge that this is a space to even remember the mothers that have been a part of our journeys, formally and informally. So irrespective of the experiences that you've had, we want you to know this is a space for you. Our panelists today come from diverse backgrounds. Some of them have even experienced maybe similar losses and similar triumphs. And so this is a space where I believe you will be encouraged, where you'll be inspired, where we're going to love on each other, where I'm going to get a chance to share with you some of my favorite mothers from across the diaspora, all right? I'm talking about from across the globe, all right? And I know there are a lot of amazing mothers, but these are just 4 of them. I want to make sure that I can share some of them with you. Before I bring one of those special women on, I just want to just acknowledge and thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking a moment out of your busy schedules. And in the midst of COVID, with all that's going on, we want to make sure that you know we are still excited about life and that so amazing life is still possible. And we hope that you'll feel that today as we spend this time together. So with that, I want to just also acknowledge and thank our Burn News, our family. Thank you to Pat and your team. Thank you to our production staff on this side, to our So Amazing Life team. And I want to also give a special shout out and happy Mother's Day to my wife, Bobby Douglas, who's behind the scenes making these things happen with her amazing ideas and her support. I want to also thank my mother-in-law and aunts and aunties and everybody. We're going to get to you, I promise. And also make sure you send your questions and put them in the chat. All right. Before I go on and invite our first guest, I want to make sure that you do me a favor. All right. And press share right now. All right. If you're on Burn News, do like how you do with bad news sometimes. Would you send some good news to somebody? Send this, say, listen, send this to your auntie, send this to your mom, send this to your grandmother. If you're a son, daughter, send this to mom and say, Mom, happy Mother's Day early. And let's make sure that we can get some good things shared all across the world. All right. So with that, I want to bring in one of my favorite mothers. This is where it all began for me. Come on, put your hands together right where you are. I call her Nan. We call her, some of you may know as Lucy. Dr. Douglas, Dr. Douglas Lurding. Would you bring on the screen for me Lucy Douglas, Lucy Jean Vernita Richardson Bean Douglas? Come on, we giving all the names. You know what I'm saying? Come on, put your hands together. Yeah. Right. I know you're by yourself, people. I know you're in your room by yourself. Why don't you just clap right where you are and just celebrate this amazing dark-skinned sister? Come on, let's put our hands together for the dark-skinned sisters out there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Celebrate it. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is right now. Let's talk to the people. Black don't crack. Talk to them.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
It's good to see you. I love you like life. Happy Mother's Day, a day in advance. I get to experience Mother's Day every single day. And I'm just so grateful for you. So grateful that you I have just been just a fixture in my life and, a foundation for all that I've been able to experience in this journey. And I'll be selfish if I kept you to myself. So thank you for allowing me to share a little bit of our story for a number of years now. I've probably been sharing our story for 12, 15 years. And now we're in a season where I believe it's time for you to say it in your own voice. You know what I'm saying? So that folks can hear you. Because I've been telling them, man, they may think I'm halfway cool or halfway decent, but I promise you, the original source is even more amazing. So now, how are you? Why don't you say hello to the people, wherever they're watching from? Tell them what's up. Tell them good afternoon. Tell them happy Mother's Day. Whatever's on your heart. How are you today?
Well, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who have given birth, to all the mothers who have not, to all the women who have mothered other people's children, nieces, relatives, and just hello to every woman who has joined this broadcast. I'm really excited to be able to be here with you, and I'm grateful because the gift of life, which is Dr. Douglas, was the gift that actually got me going and finding my way to the Lord.
Okay, now you taking this there already. You keep it at 100, as folks will say. You said the gift of life that really got you going. All right, so I think this is important, man, and I think it's important to share this context. I've been grateful. I think I'm getting to live a pretty interesting and influential life in some regards, right? Like I'm getting a chance to do some things that probably I don't even think I expected to be able to do. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to say that God has been faithful in my life. That's right. I want to just name it. Like I am blessed, as my nana would say. I'm just. She said she's too blessed to be stressed. I'm blessed. I'm too blessed to not give glory to the one who gave me life, and that started inside of your room, right? I mean, that started. A lot of times people talk about their accomplishments, but they don't give the backstory. So this time together, family, is really for mothers out there. Maybe you're a new mother, maybe you're a veteran mother. Maybe you're a mother and you're struggling right now because maybe your children aren't where you want them to be. My wife said something I think is really powerful now. She said that for many mothers, they are only as happy as their least happy or satisfied child. I want to say that again. This is my wife saying it. I tell you, she's deeper than me. But she says, for many mothers, like in other words, like their happiness threshold a lot of times is attached to how well their children are doing. And so I know for you, I want to acknowledge my sister. She's an amazing auntie. She's producing the things on your side there with the video work. But you've been blessed to raise two healthy, and I would suggest productive young people, young adults. I'm a full adult now. I'm not even a young adult, I guess, anymore, but I'll still claim it, right? But I'm a man. But you've raised two healthy children. But sometimes people see the fruit, but in the words of my brother Dwayne Keynes, they don't always look at the root, right?
Yeah.
And so our journey didn't start with dissertations and books and Mother's Day features. That wasn't our story. So if you would, in your words, like how did this thing begin, man? That would maybe encourage somebody who's maybe at the beginning stages of where you were some 40 plus years ago.
Well, it began as a college freshman who had the opportunity to go to college. My mom sacrificed and sent me, and along the way, I made some decisions and got pregnant, and had to make some decisions about whether or not I would continue my education or not have a baby. And so for me, it was education was going to come first. And so I returned to school, went to the abortion clinic, was on the table, and felt a flutter. And literally that moment changed the trajectory of my life. I didn't know what it was going to be like. I just knew that I had to choose life. And so I chose you. It was indeed a journey, because when you're supposed to accomplish something that represents something significant for your family and you don't do that, you feel guilt, shame. There were a lot of emotions that you internalize and wrestle with. But I knew that parenting and loving you was the one thing that I would not fail at. And while I wasn't always equipped, I had the wherewithal and the knowledge to be able to, when you were born, to hold you up and ask the Lord to just encompass you and provide for you and give wisdom, guidance, and direction in a way that only He could. And so that really began our journey. And in that journey, we've had people who have been significant to our village. I didn't do this alone. I had a very supportive husband. We deliberately decided that we would be transparent and open with you about a lot of things. And there were lessons that we each learned along the way. There were times we didn't like each other. I remember one time I'm telling you how much I didn't like you, and you told me how much you didn't like me. And I think we agreed, and we decided that we would find a way to work together. And then we were blessed with your amazing sister, who is a phenomenal woman. And I had to learn how to parent differently because each of you were different. Each of you are unique. And so I want to say to any mother or any woman out there who has experienced adversity, had made decisions where others may have looked down on you, nothing gets wasted. I truly believe that for me, who was someone who never wanted children, because I did not consider myself to be very motherly, was that you and your sister are the gift that was given to me. And so I'm eternally grateful to be able to experience what it looks like to be able to be loved unconditionally and to give love unconditionally. So I'm eternally grateful for that.
Oh, that's powerful. Somebody needs to drop that right in the comments. Nothing gets wasted. That's powerful for a mother out there. who may be feeling like, man, what can come from the challenges that you're facing? That's powerful. And as I hear you share the story, it's one thing for me to tell it. It's another thing to hear you say. When you say you were on the table and you felt a flutter, that does something to me. If I'm honest with you, I felt that flutter maybe a week ago when I felt like, man, we need to do something for Mother's Day, for mothers who can't really, experience Mother's Day like they typically do. I think this is an opportunity. There are mothers watching who would have been maybe a lot more busy if they could just do the regular routine. I believe that today is a day of hope and encouragement, and perhaps even renewed perspective about some things that they felt was maybe wasted in their lives. Wow, Nan, thank you for being you. Thank you for responding to what you felt inside of you that day. And I live with that same flutter, right? I mean, I feel some things sometimes. And so to someone who's watching, I just want to encourage you. You may feel some things during this broadcast, and we hope that you will send us a direct message, whether it be following up at our ministry website, soamazinglife@gmail.com. Our social media information is there. We want you to know this is a larger movement. My mother and I are in a season of our lives where we're beginning to tell our story for ourselves in ways we haven't in the past. And then I'm just excited because you're no longer a 19-year-old college freshman who had to choose between a degree in nursing or a degree in me. You made some sacrifices. And I just love the story. Every single time I moved, you did something. You went back home, and let's keep it 100. You were pushed out of the church. You were disfellowshipped, and they blessed me after the service because I was supposedly deemed illegitimate. That's what they did for children who were born outside of wedlock. But yet you persevered and you wrestled with God. It wasn't easy. And so there's someone who's watching who's felt like they've been maybe forsaken by God because of how people treated you. Nan, what would you say to a mother who feels like the church let me down? They kicked me out, or they mistreated me, or they treated me differently than how they treated the dad. Can you speak to a mother who still just needs?
I would say to a mother that don't focus on the church. The church consists of people who are hurting. And the Lord is not surprised. He's never surprised by anything, and he always has a plan. And it's a matter of you deciding that you're going to ask him to give you wisdom, guidance, and direction. Listen to your discernment. What is he telling you? What is he encouraging you to do? And follow that direction. It doesn't have to line up to what other people think it should look like. Doesn't matter what they think. What matters is, are you willing to be obedient and allow the Lord to direct your life? Even when you're angry or you feel like you don't have anything that you can say to him, just whisper a prayer, continue to talk with him. He will open up doors and make a way, and he will protect and provide for the gift of life that he's given you, because every child has a purpose and a plan. You have a purpose and a plan. I would say for me, education was, to me, I felt it was derailed at that particular point in time, but it was also something that I continued to pursue. And the Lord literally brought me back full circle to come back to school and complete unfinished business. And irony is, he used the flutter, which is my son, to encourage me to make a move in a direction that I always dreamed about, but felt that I was not going to be able to complete. And so for me, this has been really a full circle moment. So don't look at timelines. Just prepare yourself and be open and willing to whatever direction the Lord is moving you in, and just know that he'll provide. And you are worthy, you matter. We see you, we hear you. We will not be okay if you're not a part of this journey. So don't wait for somebody else to affirm. You know that when you look in the mirror and you look into your eyes and you tell yourself that you are a gift, not only of God, but a gift to the world.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. And there's a mother, or there's a young woman or a dad or someone who also maybe made a different decision that day, right, in their lives. And we want you to be released from that shame too. There's still nothing wasted, right?
Yes. The Lord forgives. And one of the things about shame is that it shows up in so many different moments. It can wash over you even when you're having moments of happiness. Choose to forgive yourself, because the Father has. He has. And he won't allow any of the moments or even the choices that we've made to be wasted. I recognize that had I made a different decision, then we wouldn't be having this conversation with Dr. Douglas.
Literally.
That the world would have been at a loss. And I know that the Lord was there with me in that moment. And even if you were someone who completed the act of an abortion, the Father was still with you. He doesn't leave you. And He will allow the brokenness or the sadness or the disappointment or the hurt or the shame that you're feeling to be used for ministry. So it can still be used. And I think as women, we have to be mindful of how we support each other or don't support each other, and what we're saying to each other, and how we set rules and guidelines that say that somebody's not worthy when they are. We matter. Everybody matters. And it's important for us as a community, as women, as men, as mothers, as fathers, to make sure that we let our kids know that they matter, not because of what they do, whether it's a grade or what they accomplish, but because of who they are. What are the characteristics that you know and you love about your kids? Tell them about that. Let them know that you love them because of who they are. The things they accomplish in life, yes, we love those things, but we need to love them more. Make time for them. It's the little things that they remember. They don't remember the gifts. They remember the moment where you sat quietly with them and they read a story, or you watched TV together, or you took the time to listen and not judge. It's simple things in the mothering process. And choose to make the time, because there's always going to be something to do. There's always going to be something that's pulling at us. But we can't get back moments that pass by. So when you feel that you're being pulled in many directions, take a deep breath and decide to honor the moment that you're going to have, the only moment that you may have, and not be able to get back with that child.
That's good. That's good. And we're ready to bring in our next guest. But before we do that, I just feel like, man, already, I mean, there's just been so much right here, right? And I want to make sure that it's clear. This is not about perfection, right? We are not perfect, man.
No.
What God said, I mean, this is, this is for folks who have gone through some stuff. This is for folks who your family arrangement is not, ideal. You know what I'm saying? You had the hyphenated names and the name changes. And this is for folks who just like, say it again, the blended, you know what I'm saying? This is for
the blended families.
Yeah, this is for those folk, you folk, our folk, right? Like what you just say, you need to send this to somebody and say, okay, this is a real one. This is a real conversation. If you fit anything remotely close to real life, real challenges, this is a conversation for you. And it's a conversation that we have not typically had in our families, in our communities, sometimes trying to make sure that the exterior looks good, but internally we're still struggling. And so we want to give you permission to know that, like, man, it's a journey. And man, if I'm honest with you, I mean, I say this, you mentioned just some of the moments I remember. And I want to share this for a young person who wants to think about how do you honor your parents and how do you pour into your parents, but also parents, the things that really matter to us as young people. I remember coming home, having taken a Latin O-level and being pretty sure that I didn't do so well. You know what I'm saying? You take anyone took an O-level, whatever, you know what I mean? I end up not doing so well, but who needs an O-level, right? That didn't, who needs a Latin O-level, that is, right? But I came home and it was a hard time. I went to a high school that, it was a challenge, feeling like I belonged. And I remember coming into the screen door and you said to me after I told you, man, I don't know how I did, Mom. You said, did you do your best? Yeah. And I remember you making a conscious decision to say that because there were others who you knew had challenges at times with sort of supporting their children in these challenging academic environments. And you wanted to make sure that I knew that I belonged and I was secure in you and in my journey, even if I did not pass that test. And I want to just give you your flowers and just say thank you, but to also acknowledge that I believe there's some parents who may need to strike that balance, right? Of acknowledging what you just shared. And that is the humanity of our children beyond what they do, simply because of who they are.
Yeah. And it's important to know your children will be successful. They get to decide what success looks like for them. And they will accomplish whatever they're supposed to accomplish. And they will be solid individuals. But you have a lot of people who become educated, but they don't have good character. And so you're going to have to decide what's important. Our kids are struggling with so many pressures from so many different directions. And I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to know that I need to change the direction of how I was parenting, because I would rather have you than to not be able to not affirm you for who you were and who you needed to become. Because at the end of the day, when you finish school, nobody asks you what grade you got. They want to know what characteristics you bring to the table.
Yeah, that's good. So a secret to raising a child who may perhaps go and get a PhD is to maybe walk beside them when they get the U on the O level, right? The U meant unwalkable. You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah, it's not all gonna be all A's. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? It's about the journey and the balance. Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Nan. I celebrate you. I celebrate the flutter moments where, as you poured into me, I've been grateful that God has also, I think part of my role in your life is say, now is your turn. And every stage, folks, those who are watching, every time God did something for me, he challenged me to say, Mom, now is your turn. After I finished my master's, I went back home, I started to teach at Bermuda Institute. My mom went back to Oakwood and finished that degree and finished the master's in counseling. She's a licensed counselor. And some of you may want to reach out, to find out how you can access some of those resources. We're doing some cool things now that I think are going to transform lives. Send us a message. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the Dr. Ty Douglas channel, as well as follow us on the social media handles that we'll be putting up. But more than that, know that you have people who care and people who are really seeking to live so amazing life. And it doesn't look like perfection. It looks like persistence. Man, I want to celebrate your persistence as we transition to our next guest. You are a dissertational aide for finishing your doctorate. Come on. I'll just clap for that real quick for you. I know you don't really tell a whole lot of people. I know you want to let them know when you're done, but I think it's time to invite them on the journey because there's someone else who's watching who needs to know that they can go ahead and finish and pursue those dreams as well. So I want to celebrate you. You're now doing your doctorate at the University of Missouri, where I used to work, which is amazing. Full circle, right? From 19-year-old college freshman, leaving Oakwood, right, to have me. Now you went back to Oakwood, finish at Oakwood, finish your master's, and now you're working on your doctorate. I celebrate you. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
God bless you. Stay with us as we now invite another mother that I think you're all going to enjoy. And before we even bring her on, I just want to give you a taste of who she is. All right. She's a good friend of ours. You may know her because she's an amazing singer. You may know her sort of alter ego, Miss Beulah. Let me give you a little glimpse. I don't know if our production team is ready. If you are, let's drop this video and invite this amazing mother into our show.
Okay, all right. Hold up a minute here. Now, schools are supposed to open on Monday. I just want to know, when baby girl gonna get her hair done? Okay, when the boy's gonna get his little fade? Because the hair is rote under her. You hear me? Rote. So, if school's going on Monday, when we're getting our hair did? Hair needs to be done. Somebody needs a shave and a bath. Oh my gosh. Please, people, think about this. I don't mind going back to school, but give a sister some time to get some dew in her hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Okay? It's the ball for me. It's the ball. My daughter's laughing. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Tracy Richardson.
Tyrone Douglas.
What's good? Whoopsie. What's going on, Tracy?
I'm doing well. Praise the Lord. Good to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Absolutely.
Hey, Miss Tracy.
Hi, Lucy. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Listen, we are so excited to have you on. We are so excited to have you on, Trace. Thank you for being here. You are just a joy to be around. When my wife and I were thinking about just amazing mothers, you came to mind. It was probably in part also because we had just seen that video as well. And we're just like, man, in the midst of all that's happening in this world, Trace has been consistently joyful. I mean, you're a singer. I know life is not perfect, right? I mean, even for you, Mother's Day is I'm sure a challenging time at times, right? When you think about your own journey, your mom and the like, and we love your mom. And yet and still, I think that's why people need to hear from you. You know, you make us smile, and we just so talk to us. Who is Tracy Richardson, right? Like, talk to the people real quick. Tell them a little bit about yourself as a mother. You know, you're an educator. You know, you're got some acting skills. You're a singer. I think about spiritual peace. Talk to us. Who is Tracy Richardson?
Hey, what you see is what you get. This is me. I am here. I'm so thankful that God has blessed me with, I would say, of many talents. So I'm a person, I'm real. I am going to give it to you straight. I have a listening ear. I like to listen to people. I like to be funny. I like to laugh. I love to laugh. I should say I love to laugh. I love to make others laugh. And I always want to be used by God in some way, whether it be singing on the praise team or on the stage doing Miss Beulah or I don't know, answering the phone at school, whatever way that I could make somebody feel better about themselves or just be a better person. That's just who I am, Ty.
I love it. I love it, Trey. So Miss Beulah, can we meet her at some point? I know we got to. I'm not sure if that was Miss Beulah just now or if that was like that didn't sound like Miss Beulah. Who was that?
Miss Beulah. No, Miss Beulah. She's in quarantine right now. She's up at the government at the quarantine up there in Grotto Bay. So unfortunately, she's not available.
We love
she sends
it.
her regards.
Okay, all right. Well, just let her know. Send her a text or WhatsApp, and let her know she's welcome to join the broadcast at some point if she so chooses. All right. This is a space for everybody. We're so glad you're with us, and so glad to know you, Trace. When I think about you, I think about the inspirational choir days, and so I want to also invite into the space another amazing mother, friend of mine. Honored to be able to, just have her as not just a friend, but family. I'll be honest with you. Like when I think about great mothers, it's also great when you just have a great relationship with the whole family. And so this person we want to bring on Carmen Starling. She's an amazing educator, and I call her Speech. All right, I call her Speech. If we go back, she's a speech pathologist, mother of 4 amazing children. I think we got a couple of pics that we'll probably even show. But Carmen Starling, you are in the broadcast. I know this is like sister check-in, but I guess I'm maybe like invading the sister check-in space as a brother, right? But what's going on, sis? Talk to your people.
We'll let you stay, Ty. We'll let you stay. We love you to pieces. I think
Thank you for having me.
Important. Tracy said, what you see is what you get. And I think that's the theme of everybody on this, who you've chosen to be on here today. What you see is what you get. You get love, you get just real people.
Yeah, and we love you. Thank you for just being real. And is there a mother that you want to shout out real quick? I don't know if your mom is watching as well, Trace, but while you're on, I just want to Carmen, that is there a mom, you want to shout out to your mom, make sure that she can, if she's watching, make sure she can pass it around for you?
Absolutely. Dolores, Elizabeth, DeRosa, DeShields, I love you, love you, love you. That is strength, that is womanhood, that is warrior queen.
Yes, yeah. We see some shout outs. We see Kimberly Tankard there in the chat. She's saying, hey, Carmen, she loves you. I know you've been a big sister to her. And so thank you for you being an other mother, and Tracy as well, right? My mom also. I mean, you all have mothered other people's children as well and just loved on women and men across our country and across the world. So thank you so much for being on. I think we have a couple of pictures as well that we want to share of Carmen's family also. She has an amazing family, beautiful children, our godchildren. And so we just want to just share some images of them. My amazing friend and brother, Dewan, her husband. So we celebrate her family as we also have celebrated Tracy and her family. Shout out to Jermaine for your family, Tracy, and your 2 beautiful children also. And this is Carmen's family. So we'll make sure that you can just see who we're going to be talking to today as we enjoy this time together. That's awesome. All right, we got one more person that we want to bring into the broadcast. And we're so excited. I enjoy connecting good people. I talk about being a border crossing brother. I like to build bridges. I like to make sure that I don't keep good people to myself. And so today is one of those days, that we get a chance to connect, from Bermuda, right, to Baltimore with Carmen. We got Madison, Huntsville, Alabama in the house with my mom. We're going to keep moving west to Beham, to Birmingham, Alabama. My sister, Heather Martin, who's in the building. What's going on, Heather?
Hey, Ty. Hey, everybody.
Hi, Heather.
What's going on, sis? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I've been backstage just really enjoying it all. It's been awesome. So nice to meet all of you. And Carmen, of course, I know Carmen forever.
Yes. This is one of those days where just amazing people get a chance to connect. And Heather, you've been one of those people from the time we met at Oakwood University. You've just always consistently been a joy. And when I think about motherhood as well, and my wife was like, okay, who are the people that, I asked her, like, who should we reach out to? Your name came up like just like that. She was like, Heather. And I'm going to show the people why. We could bring up some of those pictures. And Heather, we got some shout outs that are coming in the chat as well. We see Leah Dean, who's an author, who's saying hey to you. She's building an amazing tribe for women. So we want to shout out Leah Dean. This is Heather. She's also known as Chef Mommy, right? Chef Mommy is in the house. This is an amazing family. Got the dog there. Heather is a gifted chef. She has a show. Follow her on social media called @TheChefMommy. She makes great meals for her children. I'm sure she'll probably talk about this. I believe she'll probably talk about even the nuance of trying to cook for kids with different food allergies and the like. I'm sure Heather, you'll share that. But we just want to just celebrate your family and give you your flowers as well, like we've done for others. I think there's a video that we just want to share real quick that gives a little glimpse of just the love that your family has for you and your identity as Chef Mommy. So let's share that real quick.
Okay.
Her name is Mommy. Chef Mommy. Chef Mommy in the house. 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 Chef. She wearing some Yeezys. She cooking some beanies. Chef Mommy. Chef Mommy. She cooking with love. Who paid her a dime? Chef Mommy.
That's me.
Chef Mommy. She's zillionaire, millionaire, billionaire. Chef Mommy. Chef Mommy. Turkey, rice, cheese, collard greens. Chef Mommy. Chef Mommy. Her food is so yummy. My tummy saying ah. Chef Mommy. Chef Mommy.
Hey.
Chef Mommy. Chef Mommy.
Hey.
Chef Mommy. Chef Mommy. Watermelon, lettuce, oranges, lime, rosemary, apples, avocado, olive oil, and some chicken. Chef Mommy. Chef Mommy. Chef Mommy. Chef Mommy. Chef Mommy.
Chef Mommy.
She's a chef. She's a chef. She's Mommy. She's a chef. She's Chef Mommy. Chef Mommy in the house. 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 Chef Mommy in the house.
Yeah.
Chef Mommy in the house. Chef Mommy in the house.
Hey, come on. Put your hands together for Chef Mommy in the house. Come on, come on.
Oh my goodness.
That
Oh,
is
my goodness.
amazing. Heather, we love you. We love your family, your smile. We just want to give you your flowers and just, you put out so much positive things. And whether it's through, just how you love on your family, you as an educator. I believe we probably in a couple of English classes together. I think you were an English major, I believe, Heather, right? And you just
Absolutely.
pivoted in using all your gifts, including your gift of singing. I know you're a part of the amazing group Virtue, gospel group trio Virtue with your sister. Shout out to Virtue as well. And so we just want to say thank you and just give you your flowers for being an amazing mother, all right? And when the next time we do this, I'm gonna get my Oprah on. I'm gonna be like, okay, now the doorbell rings, and like, you got a gift for you all. You know what I'm saying? You got a car, you got a car, you got a car. You know what I'm saying? But for right now, we'll give you just a virtual shout out to say we love you to Colin and your children. Thank you, and to thank you to all of our mothers. So if you're in the chat right now, let's just celebrate our mothers, not just on this call, but also the mothers that are in the room where you are right now. Come on, let's celebrate our mothers, and let's bring everybody in for an amazing conversation. We're ready to get going, all right? This is just a real conversation, all right? Mothers, we love you. Thank you. And to start us off today, beyond introductions, when we say the word motherhood, when I say the word mother, I want to just share this with maybe someone else other than my mom who shared a bit already. What comes to your mind when I say mother, Carmen? When I say mother, Heather, what comes to mind? What is your first thought about motherhood? Who would like to go first? Maybe we'll go Carmen. You look like you're ready.
I was just going to say love comes to mind when I think of motherhood. I think of strength when I think of motherhood, like a warrior, a strength.
Okay.
Someone that keeps going even when times are rough, I think of love, I think of support, I think of always being there, I think of Cole anytime, I think of a shoulder to cry on, but also a strength pillar to hold you up when you're weak. Mother, I think of love, I think of amazing, I think of a shoulder to cry on.
You're not hearing.
Yes, I hear you. We hear you, and it's good. Listen, this is one of those broadcasts where we're not seeking perfection. You're gonna hear children in the background. That's okay. It's COVID. All right. You may see somebody run across of a diaper. You may hear Azaria in the background say, "Mama, I'll be on." You know what I'm saying? That's the life of a mother. Mothers ain't that crazy. Tracy, all right. Every now and then, Tracy, you just need to say, "Whoopsie."
I'm trying to say. I'm in St. David's. You know, the internet is very, very weak, Ron, right here. So.
All right,
I'm on the island. I'm doing the best I can.
About that. We'll talk to Miss Beulah about that. That's
yes,
awesome.
I'm gonna send her a message.
Yes, talk to Miss Beulah. We'll just talk about what comes to mind when we think about a mother, when we think about motherhood. Trace, so you're with us. Heather, what comes to your mind as well? Thank you for sharing, Carmen. Someone mentioned we honor your women of strength. Heather, what comes to your mind?
Comes to my mind is safety and feeling safe, because my mom has always been my safe place, like for, you know, always the person who you can depend on. Everything that Carmen said, you know, just, I remember I was telling my husband, just thinking back to when I was a little girl, that I loved her so much. If she would put me to sleep and stay in the same bed, or, you know, while she was putting me to sleep, I would try to hold on to some part of her, to her clothing, so that I could stop her from leaving when she, you know, when I fell asleep. But, you know, it obviously never worked, but she's always just felt like safe, somebody that I can trust, somebody who I know loves me unconditionally, no matter what choices I make, no matter what happens, what I look like, if I gain weight, if I lose weight, if I'm sick, if I'm, you know, whatever, safety comes to mind when I think of my mom.
That's good. That's good. And we're looking at your comments in the chat. So let us know what comes to your mind when you think of motherhood, folks. Thank you for sharing that. Nan, Mom, what comes to your mind? When you think about mother, when you think about motherhood, what comes to your mind?
I think of resilience, because you consider everybody else first. And there has to be another way to be able to do something. You find ways to be able to do it. Somehow you continue to land on your feet, even when you don't think that you will. I think another word that's important for mothers is vulnerable. It's not one of the words we want to use very often, but as mothers, we are very vulnerable. We're vulnerable to not knowing what's going to happen sometimes when we don't have control over things, and we don't have control over many things. We're vulnerable to the things that we worry about. We're vulnerable to concerns of whether we have support. We're vulnerable to just even the word, like not wanting to be vulnerable. We struggle not to want to be vulnerable. But I think that is something actually we really should celebrate and not see it as a negative. I think because when we are vulnerable, we will run to the Father and ask him to be everything that he needs, everything that we need him to be. So vulnerability is one of those things where we can find safety in him, and that we can find love, and that he will provide the resilience that we need.
That's good. And we see the comments in the chat as well. Thank you for those who have commented. Adrina, we saw you, Protector. We saw my vision is clear. Thank you for your comment. Dewan Starr, we saw you. Sacrifice was also what others mentioned when they think about their mothers. We want to ask, Joelle, we see you. Sacrificial love, giving their best. We see you. That's good. We want to pivot and just sort of transition now, because we're living in a really unique time, right? And so when you all think about mothering in 2021, right, in the midst of COVID, all right? Yeah, I see you shake your heads. And of course, that varies depending on the age of your children. So Carmen, I'm going to come back to you real quick, because I think you may have probably one of the youngest of you. I think Zach is probably maybe one of the youngest of the group. And so he's 5. Yeah. So I'm thinking raising a 5-year-old in COVID, you know, maybe a little different. So what comes to mind now as it relates to the mothering in the COVID context for you?
Mothering in the COVID context. I have a 15-year-old daughter who's about to be 16 in America, which means driving soon. A 14-year-old daughter, a 12-year-old daughter who's about to be a teenager, and a 5-year-old son. So I have a whole spectrum of children. And right now in the COVID season, just trying to get them to get through it. My oldest is in high school, and so that has its own challenges of having to do everything online. My youngest has, I need to go outside and run around as much as I can before he's climbing on your furniture and climbing. So just giving them the support that they need, giving myself the support I need, and just trying to get through the day where everybody at the end of the day is okay.
Yeah.
We want healthy, we want positive, we want wonderful children at the end of all of this. And just trying to navigate the stream of still getting the work done, but still trying to have fun and still trying to maintain your sanity.
Yes,
So
yes.
going through it right now is the day-by-day process. Sometimes it's a minute-by-minute process. You're like, if I can just get through this moment, if I can just get through this step, we can see the other side.
Yes, yeah. Trace, we're talking about mothering in the midst of COVID, Trace. I think we lost Trace real quick, so she'll be back. Heather, mother in the midst of that, I mean, that's probably mother in the midst of COVID, right? Zoom school, and then it drops. Mommy, I'm not on. I can't see my teacher. Talk to us, Heather. What has it been like mothering?
I thought that I went to school and got 2 degrees in education.
Come on.
I'm a teacher. I'm supposed to know how to do this. And for the first 9 weeks of the school year, all 4 of them were at home. And so I had a 8th grader, a 6th grader, and a 3rd and 2nd grader all trying to, like, I don't know, mothers do it all the time who homeschool, and I have so much more respect for them. But it's so much, I guess it's different when it's your children and they know, how to get to you, and they know, that they can maybe get away with a little bit more than they would at school. So those first 9 weeks were rough. I was like, when does this end? I can't do this. This is crazy. It's been a really wild ride, but I can say during the whole ride that God has never left us. He has never failed us. He has always shown himself strong. When I'm weak, he has always stepped in, and he just puts the pieces together for us. So like somebody just said in the chat, one day at a time. Like Carmen said, even 1 second, one moment at a time. You just have to be, and I think that's a special part of being a mother. You learn how to roll with the punches. And one thing this has done for me is that I've gotten to know my kids better. I've gotten to know what each one needs, how each one learns, and what might trigger one and what might encourage another. So it's been a learning experience, and I'm grateful for more time with them.
Yes, yeah. And we have a picture somewhere in the Arsenal. I don't know if we'll be able to show it, but Heather, this is one of the things my wife actually highlighted was your first day of school in virtual school, of you setting up your house for all your children. It was amazing to see just your intentionality, right? Around, trying to make sure that they had a healthy environment to start school and just navigating space. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I was stressed out. I was like, do I put them all in one room? If I put one here, and one's there, I can't help them all. And then my youngest is like the neediest, so you can't leave his side. If you leave his side, he'll get 0 done. It was something else. So I ended up having to kind of put them all in the same space. So that's where you saw that room.
Yes.
Where I was the night before trying to make it still feel special for them, like they were actually going to school, because I guess the teacher in me I love the school experience, and for them not to be able to go into the classroom, I really just wanted them to have that.
Yeah. And then Heather, you went to school and got multiple degrees to be a teacher, and you're at home though, like teaching your kids, right? Being able to focus on them right now. Yes. Carmen, you have those multiple degrees and you're teaching at home and you're teaching other people's kids online right now. Is that accurate, speech?
That is accurate. Yes. I have a wonderful husband that does most of the homeschooling. Sometimes I try to sneak in. I really like to be a teacher. So sometimes I like to sneak in. But yeah, I am teaching college course at UMBC, first grade, Howard County. And then I am also Howard 4 as well.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that, thank you for that. I just want to again give you your kudos, flowers, and just say like thank you, mothers, for being just mothers, teachers, right? And we celebrate your husbands, partners who help to bring balance and the like, right? But But even still, with all of that, it's still hard, right? I mean, I'm thinking there's someone who's watching who maybe sort of wrestling whether they're a good mother right now. How are they actually doing? So how do you define success right now? Carmen, I saw your hand. You're like, yeah, so talk to us, Pete. What are you thinking?
Define success as happy, stable children who love God, are developing their relationship with God, and that don't feel like jumping out of the window with all the stress that they have to do. Like, we were younger, but I had to learn online. Right now, I don't know what type of student I would be. Actually, I think I'd be a terrible student right now if I had to do everything online. I was a kid that they punished me by not letting me go to PE. Like, that's how they punished me in elementary school, because they knew I needed an outlet. So being in the house right now, not being able to get outside with my friends or just run, like, I would be a terrible student. So success right now is having my teenager feel like she's okay. My 3 girls feel like they're okay, and Zach feeling he got the short end of the stick, because everybody's like, I got to do my work. I was like, can I play? Can somebody play with me? I'm like, dude, we don't really have time to play right now. So allowing all of them to feel loved, to feel supported, to feel like we are getting through this together.
Yes. Mom, you're the OG in the house. You don't have any children that you're having to raise who are navigating, K-8, K-12 school. But if you did have children who were younger in school right now, and just based on sort of your perspective, having lived and parented a little bit longer, and also with your counseling background, is there anything that comes to your mind as relates to perspectives or resources or things that may be helpful to mothers trying to figure out what success may look like right now?
I think it's important to give your kids and yourself grace. We're going through something that we have never been through before. There's no right or wrong way. You do need to be present and identify what's happening with your kids individually, and just cut out the quiet time so that you can allow them to share what they're worried about. Allow them to talk about what they miss. They miss engaging in a classroom setting or hanging out with their friends or just not being home. The novelty of being home is over. And it's important for you to check in and find out how they're doing mentally, with the isolation and the inability to engage. It's a great season. I mean, I don't know if I could parent in this day and age. I think I have a vast appreciation for teachers, because it takes a lot of patience, and there's a lot of things that they give that as parents we've taken for granted. But for those people who are actually out there teaching their kids and having to teach, or teachers who are teaching, we thank you for everything that you're doing. But give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. They will get through it. This is also a great time for you really to get to know who they are and how they learn, and affirm them in their learning. For some people, they're really doing well because maybe for the first time they are in an environment where they are learning, and then the information is not just being moved through quickly. For others who have aren't doing well in this space, is maybe because they're not comfortable with the process. So finding different ways in which you can teach them the information is really, really important. But give yourself grace. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay.
Yes. We see the word grace, and it rhymes with trace. Trace, talk to us. Grace. And then, grace for that internet connection.
Oh my God.
Talk to us.
I'm not going to put the internet provider on blast right now, but my Lord, I will be giving them a call tomorrow on Monday morning, because I think the last question you were asking me is that it's COVID. How am I making out? When it first started last year, for us, it was a bit of an eye opener, in that not realizing how busy we were as parents, just going, one job right to the next, not spending quality time as a mother or a parent to our children. So when COVID hit and shelter in place was called, the time that we got to spend as a family became more valuable, and became like, oh my gosh, look how much time I have not been spending, busy trying to get that almighty dollar, or busy trying to, finish that last project at work and staying there to, late hours in the night. So COVID for us was sort of a bit of an eye opener about how much family time we were missing with one another. So now here we are back full circle, another year, and now it's like we're spending more time as a family. Yes, in the Word, in God's Word, having more family movie nights at home, and everything else is shut down. Where you gonna go? There's no social, ain't nowhere to go. So we're here, not stuck. We're here together, bonding more as a family in God's Word, and also there's bringing out the old movies, and Jermaine's busting the tune on his this little thing. He's got this little play thing. I'm not that tech savvy, so I don't know all the terms, all these little mixing boxes and things like that. So I just edged myself. I said box. But hey, every day just being a mother is something that you have to just put dinner on the table, to feed, to clothe, to just support that child that's working on that research paper. Hello, hi. So, okay. So, just every day is a success for me. Just knowing that I could just lay my head down at night and tick, 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 I did it. It may not be exactly, this 10-point star, this 5-star service, but it got done. They ate today. They have food today. They have they have internet today.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm just so thankful for that. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. We want to transition a little bit. Heather, I don't know if you had a thought on that. If you do, I want to make sure I can be inclusive. Did you have a thought on that as relates to what success looks like?
I concur. And I agree with your mom, just, giving yourself grace, and success looks like you're breathing and you're alive, and you made it through another day, and all of your kids are well.
Yeah,
that's good.
And sometimes they're not well. For me, they might be sick. Like for the last maybe month or so, we never had COVID, but the spring hits in the South like it hits nowhere else. And I promise you, I was like, these people are going to call, because our kids they didn't shut down school forever. They've been back in school in person for a while now. And so I was like, they're going to come and get me, because I couldn't get all 4 kids well to be in school like every day out of the door. Somebody had an ear infection or a sinus infection. I mean, it was crazy. So they may not be always well, but well-ish. Breath in their bodies. That's what success looks like to me.
Yes, grace. Yeah, grace. So it sounds like if you're a mother and you're watching this, a key word, success looks like grace. Listen, we're grateful that you're alive. You're doing the best that you can. What success looks like right now may be very different than what you previously thought. But this is a time to just embrace the beauty of where you are, your family, and doing the best that you can in difficult circumstances. So I appreciate you sharing that, mothers. Keeping it 100 for our mothers out there. I want to just also make sure that we can just pivot a little bit, because I know there's something about having been a parent for a while. But what about for a young mothers, who's maybe a new mother and needs to hear something that you didn't hear when you were first a mother, right? So if you could think back to when you first became a mother, all right, what's something that you wish that you knew then that you know now, but maybe a young mother doesn't know it, and she needs to hear that from you now as a more seasoned mother? What's some counsel for a young mother out there that needs some encouragement? What would you say? I'm just trying to get a feel for the vibe. I see the eyes good, and I see the brain's good. I was like, man, what? I see you thinking. Think on that a little bit. I'm gonna go, Nan. I'm gonna go to you first, Nan, real quick. I'm gonna go to you first. 19 years old. What would you say to 19-year-old Lucy Douglas if you could have slipped in her dorm room after she came back from the clinic or whatever, or after she was in that hospital room and gave birth? What would you say to 19-year-old Lucy that maybe a 19-year-old watching now needs to hear?
Wow. I would say to the 19-year-old Lucy that you're enough. That you're enough.
Wow.
And that you will and you shall live, and you have worth and value. And it's not depending on whether anybody else tells you that or affirms it. is what you decide to choose to believe about you inside. So you are enough.
Wow, that's good. That's good. I'm coming to you, Trace, but just before we move on, I just think that there's a mother needs to just type in the chat, I am enough. Real quick, just we are enough, right? You are enough. Yeah, Nicole Robinson, you are a mother.
You're enough.
Not just for a 19-year-old, maybe a 29-year-old, right? A 39-year-old mother, right? A 49-year-old mother. You are enough. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Tracy, we see your hand. You had a thought.
I think of the word patience and love. That's what someone taught me, because my first child, unfortunately, we miscarried. So it was very, very wondering if this was a road I wanted to travel down again. Lord, when I get to 24 weeks, are you going to let me, is it going to happen again, or am I going to go through full term, excuse me. So thankful, yes, they're here now. And then I get this bundle of joy. And then I am finding all these things out about myself. I'm impatient. I don't know what I'm doing. There is no manual for motherhood, So I look back on it now, and I would tell that future mother, that young mother now, have more patience and just take time to just every day, just learn about yourself and your child as you're growing together. You're on this journey together, because mothers, although we're superheroes, we're not perfect. But we are somewhat of a prefect to our child. We're just trying to set that example where all eyes are on us, as they're growing up and they're looking at us and they're learning from us. So some patience and, of course, some love and lots of prayer. Prayer,
that's good. That's good.
Prayer is essential.
Yes. That's good. And any other thoughts on that? I mean, I know that was a thick one. Speecho, you have anything you want to share on that?
Time goes by very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Make sure you spend as much time as you can
Amen.
loving on your children, because it goes by. No one said that it would go by as fast as it does. I try to tell people that all the time now. Love on your children as much as you can, because the time goes flying past.
Yeah.
Good. That's good.
Yeah,
Heather, anything that you could talk to young Heather, that you could share with young Heather?
If I could talk to young Heather, I would say, you see all these picture perfect, on TV, Instagram, you see all of the finished products, like even the great pictures that we showed here today of us and our families. And, you have those moments, but I would say to myself that it's not going to always be perfect, but it's going to be okay. Yes. You're going to make it through whatever God gives to you, because I was upset at first when I had my first baby. I don't want to say upset, but I cried a lot because my first baby had eczema. I never even heard of eczema, never knew what it was. And then I found out he had food allergies, and that was number one. Then number two, number three, number four, all of them had severe food allergies, not just intolerances, but things that could take their lives, and they still struggle with that. And with my first baby, I just cried, and I was just so angry because, I know people have bigger things to deal with. Motherhood looks different for so many of us, but I want to say to the mother who has a challenge of any kind, that it's gonna be okay, that God will equip you for whatever it is He's given to you, the gift that He's placed in your life, because that's what our children are. They're gifts, and they teach us to be our best selves. And so I would say to me, hold on, it's going to be okay. You will rise to the occasion. Whatever it is you need to learn how to figure out how to do, you will rise to the occasion of loving and embracing and nurturing the child that God has put in your hands. And don't think that it has to look like the images that you see of perfection, because it may not always be that. But that's you're going to be okay.
That's great counsel. I want to give a shout out to Isis Bauman, who also said the same thing, Heather. And a person said, it's okay to cry, right? As a mother. I mean, you're going to cry. So we want to acknowledge what you shared. Isis, we see you and we hear you. And your tears are respected, and we honor you. I want to invite our guests to prepare to invite those that are in your space to join us in a second. I don't know whether you're going to want them in the frame for this question, but get them ready for them to join. If you have someone in the room that you wanted to join, no pressure. But the question I want to ask, some folks may have a daughter or a son or a mom. We want to give shout outs to family members all across the globe. We know some of you are connected with family members, whether it be virtually, your parents or aunties are watching. So we want to just shout out to our families and invite the questions to come in. We got a Q&A section, so send your question. We have, it looks like Miss Rebecca who's joining. Miss Rebecca, you are legendary. I don't know how I spent like 5 years in Huntsville, Alabama, and this is the first time we're connecting, but I feel honored. So welcome into the virtual space. God bless you.
Hello, everyone.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you all.
Yes, thank you for being with us. It looks like we also have a Zaria there. That's Tracy's oldest daughter. Hey, Zaria, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good to see you. I think you're a senior in high school, about to graduate, right? Congratulations. That's exciting. Thank you for being with us. I think I saw Fiona Zakia Douglas up there. Gotta get my sister there with my mom. I want to shout her out. She's an amazing woman, and help mom behind the scenes. But we thought we'll bring her in front of the camera. And I just want to also just give you your flowers, Keys. You're an amazing aunt. You're an amazing woman, and you also, my dad. I want to give him his flowers as well. He's watching. I want to celebrate you, Keys. The world probably doesn't know, but you're about to start your doctorate. I know Keys is all shaking her head like, oh goodness. Yeah, I want to shout you out. You're amazing, right? She's about to start her doctorate. She's got multiple businesses. She's an entrepreneur. And so sometimes people like celebrate me, but Keys, I want to give you your flowers. Your gift, right? And I want to celebrate you. And although you don't have any children yet, I also want to say to someone who's single that our identities is not based on just being parents, right? That our values, you're full and you're whole even without having children. So Keys, thank you for being on. We celebrate you, and shout out to Carmen, your family as well. And we're so grateful that you're getting a little Mother's Day getaway, so your kids are not in the room, but we shout out your family as well. All right, so I'm got a question. I set you all up. Especially those who may have your mom with you or mom's watching. Let's shout out Nana Marguerite, my Nana. I think she's watching. Margot, who loves the baby? That's how we would say it for her. She's very proper. So we say, who loves your baby? All right, that's my Nana's favorite saying. Nana,
you're too blessed to be stressed. Don't forget.
Oh, yes, too blessed to be stressed. I hope you are comfortable. She usually says all the syllables. She gets real British with us, so I'm sure she's watching. She'll tell me after the broadcast, Tyrone, you called my name on this broadcast? We love you, Nana. God bless you. So here's the question. I set you all up, all right? I want to ask you to think about what's a lesson that you've learned from your mother, all right? What's a lesson that you've learned from your mother? What's something that you've taken from the example of your mother that you want to share, right? That you feel comfortable sharing, something that you just feel like, hey, I just want to just say this as, just affirmation, or, just something that you want to celebrate, or just something that you think is funny. Give us something. It doesn't have to be super deep. But when I say your mama, right? I remember meeting on that. You're getting the real meeting, right? Your mama, right? When I say mama, when I say your mother, what comes to mind as a lesson or something that you've learned from your mother? Who wants to go first? I want to make sure you feed it before you take the question. Who wants that one? All right, I see you. Azaria, I'm gonna call on you real quick. You're the young whippersnapper in the group. Azaria, that's Tracy's daughter. Let's bring Tracy and Azaria. All right, Azaria, what's a lesson? We bring in the teenagers now. We have heard from some of the other folks. We want to hear from you first. Azaria, what's something you've learned from your mother that you want to share?
I would say that something I've learned from my mother is to choose your friends wisely. She's always told me to be aware of people around you and who your friends are. So I think that's a great lesson that I've learned from my mother, as knowing her friends are, spiritual peace. So
all right,
I've learned how to keep a smaller friend group.
I love it. That's great counsel. And you're very articulate. Right? The first time I heard you speak, you sound like you're quite poised. You sound like Miss Beulah number 2. You sound you're
train up a child, Ty.
Yes. You sound like you're almost ready for Oakwood. I hear that's maybe on the horizon. We want to, I'm not going to call up your mom's school. I'm not going to call her out, but I'm going to say, Oakwood. All right, we're going to celebrate you. Thank you for that counsel. Trace,
Yes.
I don't know if there's anything that you want to share. We want to just acknowledge your mother. We know that she is was an amazing woman, and honored to know her. And even on a day like today, we celebrate her and respectfully invite you to share anything you would like to share that comes to your mind when you think about your dear mother.
You know, she's passed now, but oh my gosh, the lessons that she has taught me from young, you know, I just think of like what Azaria just shared with you in regards to choosing your friends wisely. My mom's always reminded me, sometimes it's best to keep a small circle. And, you know, she's like, Tracy, you're that social butterfly. I know you want everybody to be your friend. You want everybody to come to your house for Sabbath lunch, but just choose a few, Tracy, just a few. So I've learned from young to choose your friends wisely, because those friends stood and would last for a lifetime, right? And they're going to be with you for the ups and the downs. Also, something that my mother taught me, she loved to cook. She loved to be in the kitchen. And now just thinking back on times like even getting ready for Good Friday or Christmas or something, Mom was up in the kitchen. She's up in the kitchen late at night. She's doing what she's got to do. That's what mothers do. And that's what I do. I'm trying to pass that on to Azaria because I'm getting a bit tired. Sister Beulah getting tired. So, you know, and also another thing that my mom taught us was service. Serve your community, serve your family, serve your husband, serve your children, be of service, you know, for God, and that, you know, he would use you. You know, the instruction for the parent is to train up your child, and the instruction for the children is to honor your father and your mother. And I believe I honored her when she was alive, and we miss her dearly. My siblings, Michelle, Michael, Judy, yes, we do miss her because she taught us so much. So, you know, those are some things that I could think of out loud, you know, that I can think of right now. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Trace, and just before we go into others, I think you've segued to this. I think it's important to acknowledge it. You know, Mother's Day, it can be very difficult for those who have lost mothers, right, Trace?
Yes.
What counsel would you offer to someone who maybe does not look forward to Mother's Day because of the loss of a mother? You sort of referenced that. I think it'd be appropriate just to give you space to maybe. How did you navigate that? This may be somebody's first Mother's Day without their mother. What would you share to someone who maybe, you know, struggles?
Ty, I would definitely just share with them that they should focus on the good times, those memories, all those things that but they think of when they think of their mother and the things that their mother did for them, and just go back on those memories, go back to the photos, the photo album if you have to, and dwell on those moments, you know, and don't yes, it's good to cry. Yes, it is good to have shed that tear, you know, but don't dwell on that. You know what I'm saying? Just think of all the things that she did for you and those good memories. And that's what helped me get through Mother's Day after Mother's Day, even for those that as mothers who may have lost children in their womb, or, you know, that mother that is yearning for that baby that has not been born as yet. I've been down that road too, you know, and just know that in God's time, he will, when he's ready, and, you know, when he feels that maybe we're ready, he will bless your womb. And if not, be a mother to somebody in the community. There's a child next door that needs a plate of food. There's a child in school. I know that we all have children in school that some come without lunch, without a water bottle, be a mother to that child. And, you know, you don't have to be a mother that births a child. You could just be a mother to somebody in your community, in your school, right next door. So.
I love it. I love it. Hey, my sister, thank you for sharing that, Trace. Thank you for sharing your mother. Thank you for sharing your life with us. So powerful. And I hope that encourages a mother out there, or a daughter out there, or a son out there who is wrestling with Mother's Day for the first time, or maybe for multiple times about a mother. Know that you're not alone. Know that we're praying for you, and know that you know that you have our empathy on a weekend like this. Thank you for sharing that. I want to open up the floor to others, and if you see, I brought in one of my other favorite mothers into the shot. I'm not rocking solo no more. What's going on? Say what's up to one of my other favorite mother in the building. My bride, she's amazing. Bobby, what's going on? Talk to the people. Just say hello. She's gonna say, I tell you I wasn't saying anything. You can at least say hello. Can you say hello to the people?
Hello.
You know what I mean?
Hey, Bob.
Isn't just not so much better now. I mean, it's cool by myself, but look, Miss Rebecca put on her glasses. She want to say, who's
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's a Mother's Day weekend. I'm sort of crashing the party. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a little better. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for joining us. Awesome. All right, a lesson. Somebody else. A lesson that you've learned from your mother. A lesson you've learned from your mother. Who would like to go next? Looks like you're ready, Heather or Carmen. Who's that? Who wants it?
Carmen, you can go.
Okay.
All right, Carmen, go.
All right. So I text the girls and I said, what's some lessons that you learned from me? And they text, Shiloh said, be kind, be patient, be slow to anger, look at the positive, smile, and persevere. Zion said, love yourself. And Sarai said, be compassionate, even when you don't feel like it. And that just makes me want to bawl and cry, and I love them. Lessons that I learned from my mom would be keep going, even when you don't feel like it, but always look at the positive side. Even though things may look rough, you may not see any light at the end of your tunnel. You don't even see the next day how you're going to make it. Keep going. Love yourself. Believe in yourself so that you can make it, and keep going. Keep going. Keep your head up and keep going. That's a lesson that I learned from my mom. And also, you're not going to make it without God. So make sure that He is in front of you at all times, because He will be that light when you can't see your way.
Yes.
Yes, that's good. That's good. Thank you for sharing that. Shout out to your amazing children of the text message ministry, letting the world know what Mama has shared. I love it. I love it. We love them. Heather, you on deck? Yes.
Yeah, I would say, Mom, that I learned from you that you can do a lot with a little. My mom was a single parent. We grew up with just my mom, and I know there's probably a lot of single parents out there. But Mom, you are an extraordinary person. You have always done stuff that I just never even understood how you could accomplish it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I realize you can do a little with a lot. I'll rephrase what I said. You can do a little with a lot when you have God on your side, when you keep Him first. This woman lets God shine through her. I mean, literally, up in the morning, the example that you provided for us, everybody knew who we were in New Orleans on our street, because literally in the summertime, morning, noon, and night, there were prayers every 3 times of the day. And if we were outside playing with our friends, we would hear you yelling, Ebony, Heather, Karima, it's time for prayer. It was so crazy. We would be embarrassed at first. Dion, all of us, it's 6 of us, and I'm the youngest of 6. But this woman would be like, when the lights are going down outside, you need to be inside for prayer. And so much so that our entire neighborhood, all the kids would come and gather and sit on our porch, and where she would make us sing and have worship. And so even though we didn't have a lot, money, riches, financial things, we had, the person who loved God, and with that willing heart, having a little made us have so much more, because she depended on God. And for that, it took us around the world. Literally, there was nothing we ever missed out on. So I want to say thank you, Mom. And to all the single parents out there who feel like you cannot do it, you are not alone. You are not single. God is your partner, and God is with you. And if you rely on Him and sacrifice like I've seen this woman do, I know that I've been blessed to have a husband who is godly. But I know that we could not do anything, whether you're alone or with a husband. You can't do anything without God.
Nothing.
And I thank you for that godly example that you gave to us, that it runs the gamut. You got a little food, share it. It becomes a lot. Whatever you have, it becomes a whole bunch when you give it to God and you do it out of love and keep it real. Those things grow. Love grows things. And I just thank you. That's the lessons I've learned from my mom.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I love that. Love grows things. That's tweetable right there, Heather. That's good. Miss Rebecca, Rebecca, were you going to say something? Miss Rebecca, were you going to say something?
I was thinking, Heather, I thank all my daughters too, because everything that the Lord had showed me to do for them, here they're doing this, they take care of me. You know, because every time I go places, you know, my children are with me, and if they're not with me, the people in the store say, well, where's your daughter? I don't see her, you know, and they do the same thing to Heather the same way, you know, if they see her, they wonder where I am. So, you know, we have such a wonderful relationship with my children. I'm so thankful for them, and they don't want me to do anything. They just want to take care of me now. And I just always, you know, I don't care what they have or where they are. You know, I have to go stay with one for a whole month, another one with a whole week. I have to spread myself around to all of them, you know. And I was so fortunate to be able to live to see my grandchildren and my grandchildren have children. So
that's awesome. Yes. And it's so great to see you. It's so great to see you. You're beautiful, and it's just so great to see this generations. I'm a big mom, Nana fan. You know, so I'm just so grateful to see you, to have you on. Yes. Forward to see you. Say I can retire now. My wife is in the building. Absolutely. This is it. I could just pass the rock, right? Yeah, absolutely. If ready, she could chime in. You know what I mean? She'll tap me, say, no. Keys, mom, lessons that you learned from you all.
You want to say what you learned now?
So she wants me to go first. So what did I learn from my mother? Well, I learned that it wasn't how much you made, it's what you do with it. That's one of the things that she taught us. She was someone who would tell you her truth, but loving you, you know, individually. So she taught us the importance of community and doing for others, and being compassionate and giving. And she's the one that taught me about being resilient, about finding another way to be able to accomplish the goal and not giving up. And she has modeled the example of being a godly mother, and someone who loves unconditionally. So I often tell people that I am who I am because of who she has been to me.
I love it. Keys, anything you want to share?
Sure. So what I learned from Mommy is, I would say it's a trio of things that kind of come to my mind immediately. And the first one would be resilience. You know, I grew up in the time when my mom was going to school and working 2 jobs while still raising me, because my brother and I have such a big age gap. So I learned from young, like within that resilience, a work ethic, maybe an overwork ethic too, but like a work ethic nonetheless. And getting to watch her to go through that, and I say maintain it in her own way, was beneficial. And then self-awareness would be another big one. My mom has worked in mental health for years prior to even getting your education, and we moved to the US for her to get her education. So that was another form of resilience. You know, in your 40s, your mother's moving to go and get a bachelor's, you know, like I'm going to be in college in a few years. But that speaks to her resilience, but her self-awareness, and her teaching us to be more self-aware made a huge difference in who I am today, you know, and my ability to manage my own emotions, manage my own mental health, and seek help if you need it. You know what I mean? I think that's super valuable. And then the third thing that I would say that's really huge, and I think even more huge nowadays, is kindness. I learned to be kind from young, but I think I understood the purpose of it as well. Not necessarily to gain something, but just because in giving kindness to people, you allow them a space of safety. And I've been able to tell my mom and my dad for years that they have been an amazing safe space, which has allowed me to be a safe space even for strangers and to share kindness. So, Mommy, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. Folks, I just want to acknowledge the folks in the comments and sending messages. Susanna, I think it might be Susanna McFoley, says, I'm enjoying this conversation. Thank you so much. I got a message from someone else who said black don't crack, so we want to celebrate the dark skin, the brown skin, and we got the hood array here. I just want to celebrate all of that, because the reality is, you know, this is some of these we didn't really talk about in our community a whole lot, but you know, it's beautiful to be able to celebrate the beauty and diversity within our families and our Black families in particular. So I just want to acknowledge that. And someone mentioned Linda Trott said, Mom, you taught them about hug therapy. So obviously you've had an impact on somebody. That transitions. We're almost at the end actually, but it's still not too late to share this video. We're gonna ask 1 or 2 closing questions that I think will really help somebody in your circle. So still press like, still press share, still subscribe, because I promise you these conversations are gonna come more frequently as we continue our mission of So Amazing Life Today. That's actually the name of our nonprofit, So Amazing Life Today, Inc. And it's really about multi-generational healing and wellness, education, and access. So if you want to be a part of that movement, you want to subscribe and you want to share this so that you can get access to the content that is to come. All right. So a number of you mentioned sort of like resilience, or someone mentioned even the hug therapy piece or perseverance. You know, I want to ask you, somebody, talk to me about what does strength look like for you? And in particular, I know that there's been sort of a motif out there about the strong Black woman, right? The strong Black woman. I know my mom, I think, is about to write a dissertation about this. I may be helping her out to collect some data, right? But help her out as she's doing a little preliminary research. And I'm back to back. I'm gonna throw you the alley-oop real quick for you, ladies. When I say strong Black woman, what comes to your mind? Is that a thing? Is that just is that a made up term, or is that legit, real? Talk to us.
I believe it's real, Ty.
Okay.
I truly do. When I think of a strong Black woman, I think of a woman that knows how to handle pressure and deal with daily stresses, and someone who knows how to grow daily and be positive and help build relationships with your children, or teach your children. We are our children's teacher, right? We're teaching them how to be positive, how to be thinkers for themselves. I used to tell my children, I tell them to this day, use the brain that God has given you. Okay? God gave you a brain, use it, So, but we still need to be that nurturing mother, right? Although we're going through our own personal daily stresses, but still teaching them daily how to pray, how to prepare a meal, how to be a wife, how to be a husband, letting them know that they are a royal priesthood, a chosen generation, that this daughter right now is going to be a princess, or one day somebody's queen, somebody's wife, right? And my son, a prince and whatnot. So that every day, just going through the daily motions of life, and just knowing that every day you can lay your head down and say you did it.
Oh, it's
awesome.
Legit. It's legit. That strong Black woman is legit, and it's a woman that has to drop out of high school to take care of her other family members. It's a woman that gets pregnant as a teen and has to give up one of her children. It's a mother who gets married and has an alcoholic husband. It's a mother, all of her children, even though she didn't finish high school, get college degrees and get their masters. A woman that is pregnant, working, going to school at the same time. It's all of those things. And it's the strength that when you just feel like getting under the bed, putting the towel over the blanket over your head and saying, I just can't do that, where you just keep going. You just get up and you just keep going, because you realize that the strength is not in you. A teacher at school said to me the other day, I don't know how you do it. I have 11 kids in my class. 7 of them are special needs students, and the others are maybe ESOL students and 2 regular ed students. And she said, I don't know how you do it, because I know you have 4 children in your house. I know that you have, a husband. I know that all of these things are going on, how you do it. And I said, I just put it up. I said, God helps me to do it, because and that's the strength that we have. A strong Black woman, we know that that's where our power comes from. We know that we have this special relationship with him, where we can say, dude, I am done. I'm done with everybody in my house. I'm done with everyone. Dude, God, guy, what's going on? And he says, you know what? You can still do it, because I am here for you and I am your strength. So strong Black woman, the connection with God gives us our strength, and we get that because he loves us, and we know that we can just, the rope is about to be like, you just got your fingernails hanging on, He's still there for you. So
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Miss Rebecca, I want to pass you the basketball real quick. I saw you, the younger generation, they were saying something. You wave your hand, and it sounds like you can speak to that strong Black woman experience as well. Could you just give us a little perspective? We want to hear across the generations.
What I was saying when I had heard you ask about how could you make it, when you're young and whatnot, when you didn't have any kids at the time. And that, and one time I didn't have any at the time, and I had my children in my teenage, and I just wanted to say that I feel as though that before you get married, you have to think about whether you're going to be able to take care of children, because when you were young like that, you were able to go out and partying, out there, going places, doing things like you wanted to, but you have to really realize when you bring a child into the world, those things has to stop, and that's what I was commenting on when I heard you all was, when you asked that question earlier, because I had my first child at 18, and he's 61 years old today, and people ask me, how could you have a child 61? Well, you see, and I'll be 80 after a while, but it's just the idea that I was a child, raising a child. But like you all said, that it was the Lord that gave me the strength, because I didn't know how to raise, children. I really didn't, because my mom and dad, I had to work as a child, really. Yeah. And when I got married, I had my children very young. But the thing about it, I relied upon God. When I became Seventh-day Adventist, I got a book by Sister White, and it showed, I started reading that book, and I said, oh my goodness, I found something that I could be able to raise my children. I forget the name of the book, but I started reading that book, and then I started praying. Yeah, child guidance. And then I learned how to actually raise my children in the fear and admonition of the Lord. And
sorry, my house is getting loud, but I have typically a 30-minute to an hour before they start blowing up, something might catch a fire. So I'm gonna put my hand up like my mom's gonna go see.
You're good.
I'm gonna have to say excuse me and mute myself.
Yeah, no, you're good. This wouldn't be a Mother's Day show without that. Come on, this is legit. This is an authentic conversation, right? Yeah, absolutely. Come on, go check on them. We saw another hand. Even a strong Black woman. Somebody mentions even a strong Black women need help every day. We rely on God to provide the strength that we need all along the way. So folks are feeling what you're saying. Nan, Keys, you want to add to that? I think we've had others who have shared. Do you have any thoughts on that motif?
Well, as I'm reflecting on the concept of the strong Black woman, I realize that the strong Black woman gives birth to her legacy. And because you want to make sure they succeed, you go to any lengths to be able to do it. It's caregiving, it's support, it's unconditional love, it's sacrifice, it's all those things and above. The challenge, though, is that it usually comes at an expense for herself, at a cost. And one of the things that we as strong Black women need to understand and know is that, one, we can give ourselves grace, and we are human. We can feel, we can cry, we can show up and be vulnerable. We can teach these things to our daughters and our sons, not from a deficit space, but from an asset space, to let them know that it is normal to feel these things. Otherwise, they grow up looking at us in this strength that we've exhibited and wanting them to understand the importance of it, not understanding what they're feeling, because they perceive that in the midst of everything, they have to push through and they can't be present. So her legacy is more than just her strength to overcome. Her legacy is in her ability to show that it's okay to be human and to be present and to acknowledge when something hurt, to acknowledge when something is great, and to enjoy life. Because one of the other things about being a strong Black woman along the way instead it comes at the expense of not being able to enjoy because you're so busy doing. And we want to be able to, if you look at generation, like if each of us look at within our families, we can see where, our mothers made the sacrifice and each generation became more and more educated. But if we were honest about like where some of our relationships are in our family, we haven't done a good job because we didn't understand the concept of being in a relationship. I was raised that, you handle your business, you get it done by any means necessary. So that came at the expense of some people. And I have modeled that for my daughter. And I had to apologize a couple of years back and let her know that it is okay to want some of the basic things. It is okay. And I don't want you to do this because it's not going to allow you to be able to accomplish the other things. So as strong Black women, you get to determine what your legacy is going to be. And our legacy is more than just this concept of being extremely strong without being human.
And if I can just chime in on that, I think part of being these strong Black women is also teaching intentionally, but teaching kind of through osmosis. A lot of the things that I learned through my mom and being strong Black woman that she is, and my Nana even being the strong Black woman that she is that they had flaws, and learning from their flaws, right? I think those were some of the, and we've been talking about this, those were some of the strongest lessons that I've learned because I think in being a strong Black woman, you learn so much and you do so much, but you also, if you take a minute, you find a lot of self-discovery. And I think that in my mom's research more recently, we've had a lot of conversations about being a strong Black woman and the immense positives around it and the amazing things about it, but also some of the areas of, weakness behind it. And I think that's where you're speaking from when you say it's more or less necessary to allow yourself to enjoy while still being strong and giving yourself a moment to just be weak. I didn't see my mother cry until I was 16. So, and it was like shocking, right? To see her cry, like, wait, you have tears? You know what I mean? And so I think from that point, I started to really pay attention, to the areas where she was really pushing through and able to be strong. And then the areas where she was pushing through, but she was tired, And so I think I've learned from all of that, like you said, there's strength in taking a break, but there's also strength in pushing through. So there's positives to it, and there's negatives to it as well.
Yeah. We're down to probably our last 15 minutes or so. And Tracy, I'm gonna ask. I want you to sort of just do a little bit of this for me. I'm feeling like a little your grace and mercy. You know what I'm saying? Brought you through. You know what I mean? I don't know what you got. I don't know if you feel like you got a little bit in there. But I just feel like I want to encourage somebody who's watching a mother. What I'm thinking about is, man, how many generations of mothers have had Mother's Days, have had days, but they didn't have community like this where they could be affirmed from women across the globe. You know what I mean? From sisterhood, to know that that they can overcome. You know what I mean? And so in the chat, right? I want to invite you just to acknowledge. Just type the names of mothers and grandmothers in the chat who's just lives you want to acknowledge. You just want to remember their names. You just want to say their names aloud. Just type their names in the chat just to honor the names of women who may be resting in graves right now, who can't experience this conversation, but you are because of their resilience, right? Yes. You're experiencing this conversation because of their willingness to persevere in the midst of adversity. You want to say their name today. You want to type their name today, affirming their belief in you, right? And so we see the names. We see Annie Bell Graves. Thank you, Dewan Stoddard, who also said when he thinks about a strong Black woman, he thinks Carmen Stoddard. I see Catherine Williams. Share those shout outs. Alan Kay, Helen Fleming Borowitz. You want to call the names? Let's call the names, panelists. Thank you, Marquita Lee. We see Myrtle Borowitz. Call these names of Amazing William, Virginia Miners, a prayer warrior. I can attest, absolutely. So keep the names coming. Janet Lambert. We just want to just continue the names to come and just acknowledge the the perseverance, just the legacy, the generations of women who have endured. There's a civil rights leader by the name of Diane Nash, and I remember hearing her speak one day, and she talked about how you know, that like for those of us in the audience, there was a generation of civil rights leaders who loved us even before they met us. They knew that some of them, they would not get a chance to meet us, but they loved us before they knew us. And I just want to thank God for our mothers who persevered, our grandmothers, our great grandmothers, and folks who have created a context for what we're experiencing today. And so with that, there's something that I think you should read in your own time. Genesis 16, there's a whole little story about a mother named Hagar. And she had a really unique experience that I was reflecting on today, you know, mistreated by, you know, her quote unquote baby daddy, if you will, mistreated, you know, by the woman that she was actually working for. And she ran away, and she had a moment where she felt forsaken. And it was in that moment that God showed up and said to her, hey, sis, don't panic. You're going to have more children than you could even imagine. Your legacy will be greater than you can even imagine. I just want to celebrate mothers who may have had moments like that, and to remind you, just like Hagar experienced, Hagar in that moment, she experienced the presence of God. And for her, she described God. This is her quote. She said, you are the God who sees me. You are the God who sees me. I just thought that's such a powerful line. I want to remind mothers today that not only do your sons, your grandsons, your nephews, like myself, see you and love you. Not only do your daughters, I believe, want to say that we see you, but there's a God in heaven who sees you, who sees the hard work, the 2, the 3, the 4 jobs. You know, the club hands that you took to send your kids off to school. You know what club hand is, you don't know what's up. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the mothers who, you know, who did a whole lot for a whole lot of little, and made, you know, little out of much when you place in the master's hands, they say, right? So I want to just share that with you and just give you your flowers. We don't want to belabor our conversation, but we do want to invite you to continue to share it, because there'll be mothers who will need to watch this tomorrow and next week and maybe next year. But for today, I also want to thank our panelists. We're not done, but we're almost there. But Tracy, what's the chances? I know Tracy's looking like, Ty, what's the chances, Tracy? You know how we do. Is there anything in your spirit that could just help the mothers real quick? Sometimes you can't stay in the words.
I'll sing the chorus, because we know that it's only by God's grace and his mercy, right? Every day that we make it through as mothers, as fathers, right? So I'll start here. I'll say, your grace and mercy brought me through. I'm living this moment because of you. And I want to thank you and praise you too. Your grace and mercy, it was your grace and mercy, your grace and mercy that brought me through. Hallelujah. God's grace and mercy. Praise God.
That's it. Mothers, we're going to transition with this sort of question, and we're going to close with a pretty cool video of a mother and a daughter singing. We're going to leave you some joy. But before we do that, I just want to ask a simple question, and that is, mothers, what's one thing that you can give as a deposit to our mothers who are watching that you do for self-care? We talked about strength. We talked about COVID and resilience and all the other elements. But what do you do to also, you know, have just to nurture yourself, right? Self-care. One thing that you do that comes to your mind that would be helpful to another mother to consider adding to the routine or their arsenal. One thing for self-care. Who would like to go first with that? I want to see. There you go, Heather. That's good. Come on, talk to us.
I exercise. It is my safe place. It helps me when I sweat. I feel like I'm getting rid of stuff, bad stuff, and it just feels good to exercise. So I would say, you know, if you don't exercise, or if you do, maybe spend that time when I exercise. I try to just pray. I even pray for people that I pass if I'm walking by somebody, people that I don't even know. But that time alone, just exercising, and even if I'm not outside walking, or if I get on a bike, stationary bike, or I just exercise. And so I feel really great when that's the self-care that keeps me going.
I love it. Exercise. Somebody type that in the chat. Exercise. Good. Somebody else. How about for you, Carmen? What do you do for self-care?
So funny. So two things. If I'm in America, I try to sleep. Is my self-care.
That's a good one.
Like for real, I need to just that's my quiet time. That's my moment of peace. And that gives me my strength. And I think it's my mom's fault because she always kept me in my crib when I was little. She's the babysitter to stay in the crib. So I like sleep. Sleep gives me peace. And before I go to sleep, I can spend a moment with God praying and stuff. If I'm in Bermuda, sitting down next to some water and listening to the ocean hit up on the rocks and just spending a quiet moment, smelling the ocean, being in God's nature, and just communing with Him. That's what gives me my self-care.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. I see the folks in the chat. They're sharing. Shawnette, we see you. Thank you for sharing. And others. Somebody said retail therapy, online shopping. We see you. No judgment. No judgment. All right. Aloha Bath. We see you. All right. Thank you so much. Trace, how about for you?
Yeah, Ty.
Self-care.
For me, as you know, I'm a singer. So for me, that time of just sitting down and having a moment to sing a song, or my daughter tells me I can make a song about anything. We can talk about the bus going by. There's a bus going by. Just entertaining myself. And sometimes you got to assemble the tribe, right? You got to call on your girls, your Chanels, your Rhodas, your Dias, You got to call on your Traces, your Carlas, all those people in your tribe that help build you and help nurture you and pour back into you, right? And then, of course, quiet time with God, right? Quiet time, that one-on-one time, just you and God, just sitting back and just, if it be in the tub, I don't know, laying down on your bed, or like Carmen said, by the seaside, just that one-on-one time. And that's how I'm fueled back up.
Nan, thank you.
Okay, so for me, I have to give myself permission to be still because I am always doing something, and my brain says there's something else you have to do. So I consciously give myself permission to be still. I enjoy sitting on my front porch. I enjoy going for a walk, and those are probably the two things that I enjoy going for a massage. That is my monthly treat to myself that I have consistently been doing for the last 3 years. And my masseuse she earns every penny because every time I go back, she says, "Oh, your neck is so tight." But I know for me, I've had to be deliberate about deciding that I was going to put myself on the calendar, and I'm going to do what it is that I have to do because I choose to be first.
I love it. We're going to get you out of here on this one, ladies. How are you planning to spend your Mother's Day? Can you give some ideas to the mothers out there who may not be feeling very creative as it relates to COVID? I know in Bermuda, the lockdown is a little bit different. So it's cutting into your South Pea breakfast and your routine. So any creative ideas? What are you planning to do, mothers? This is the last question. We want to get you out of here on this one. And then we're going to leave it with a cool song play. Make sure you share this video because somebody else needs it tomorrow. They're going to need these ideas. They hung around for the 2 hours just for this. What are you planning to do for your Mother's Day that you would like to share with others today?
I don't have really big plans, but I've already given my husband and the kids a list of things that I would like to eat tomorrow. So I was like, breakfast. I mean, I just don't want to make anything all day long. So I want them to make breakfast, and that's just simple. It could be like yogurt and granola. And then I told them there's a favorite restaurant of mine that sells like amazing salads. I told them which salad I'd like. And then for dinner, I gave them a really simple recipe that my husband makes. And I was like, that's it. That's all I want.
I love it. Miss Rebecca, how about for you? Miss Rebecca, talk to us. How are you planning to spend your Mother's Day, Mom?
Well, right here with the kids. The same thing that they do for Heather, they do it for me.
All right. All right. We love it. We love it. Awesome. Tracy Richardson. What you plan to do? What you and Miss Beulah about to do for Mother's Day? I know Miss Beulah knows how to turn up on Mother's Day. Come on.
Beulah's in quarantine right now. I'm not too sure what Beulah's going to do.
Okay.
But I'm going to quarantine myself away from my family.
Okay.
My husband Jermaine normally gives me the day to just go from morning right up to night. And I take it right up to 11:59, but now we're on the lockdown, so I'm not going to do that talk. But I'm going to use the time, spend it with my friends. We're going to come together. We're going to celebrate. A friend of mine turns 50 tomorrow, so shout out to Tracy Johnson. She'll be 50 years old tomorrow. Happy birthday, Tracy Johnson.
Tracy, happy
We're going
birthday.
to go to the beach. We're going to take a little vegetarian wine, you know. Stuff like that. You know, we can't get too tipsy on Mother's Day. We got to go work tomorrow, Ty. Next day.
I love it. I love it. Speecho, you look like you are already leaning into your Mother's Day weekend extravaganza. Carmen, I call it speak.
Yes.
What's the rest of the plan?
I was surprised this weekend with a staycation.
Ooh.
I might discuss everything that I'll be doing for Mother's Day.
Oh, Jingle.
Some of it will be some of my favorite things like sleeping.
Yes.
Time with my husband. And then tomorrow, I think we're planning a barbecue out in our backyard because Dewan's mom is not living with us, which is absolutely a wonderful blessing. Spend some time with Nana and permanently, yay. So we'll have some quiet time away from the kids.
Ooh.
That's right, Tracy. And then tomorrow afternoon, we'll spend some family time.
Beautiful. And we give much love to Mom Starling. We love her. Please tell her we said hello and happy Mother's Day. Awesome.
Great.
Nan, we come to you.
Okay, so I'm going to choose to sleep in tomorrow morning, something I don't ordinarily do, so I'm looking forward to that. I get the opportunity to go and celebrate my niece's graduation. She's graduating with her associates tomorrow afternoon, so we'll go down to Tennessee. Congratulations, Lana. I also get to spend time with Zakia and my big J. So it's going to be a simple day, a day where I choose to be present and just allow the beauty of the day to unfold.
That's good. That's good. Now, my wife is sitting next to me, and surely, you know, I would be remiss if I didn't first acknowledge Mother's Day for her. And just if she wants to say anything in the couple of seconds that we have left, is anything you want to say, babe, as far as what you hope for your Mother's Day, or anything you want to say to the mothers there? And I know you don't want to necessarily have a whole lot to say, but what would you like to say?
Let's see. Tomorrow I will get to sleep late, which I love to do. Love, love, love. And then I'm sure my husband will have a breakfast for me. And then he'll say, B, what would you like for lunch? And then he'll say, do you want to go out to dinner? And so that's all fine by me. I just want to be just relaxed, doing nothing. I love that. He's such a busy type of person, and he needs a balance, and I'm his balance. And so when Mother's Day comes, please don't plan anything. I want to do nothing, and I'm happy.
Yes, yes. Well, this has been amazing. I just want to say, I had a thought yesterday when I saw our youngest son loving on my wife, and I think one of the things, just for me as a husband, as a man who's loves women, as our mothers, our sisters, our daughters. You're just an advocate, right? And it was beautiful to see Essie and loving on you. That brought me joy. And so I want to just also say to our sons out there, our brothers, our uncles, to really take the time to be present, to love on the women, the mothers, the daughters, the sisters in our lives. Mothers, we love you. We appreciate you. To every person who has been on, we want to say thank you. And then we just want to close with a word of prayer for a mother and then leave you with a short video that I think you're going to love. It's a mother and a daughter singing, right? But I just want to just give you that and give you your flowers to Heather, Martin, and your family, and Miss Rebecca. It's official. We're now connected. You know what I mean? We're now connected. Bermuda has met Miss Rebecca, and shout out to your entire family. Thank you. I want to acknowledge my grandmother who's watching, to my mother-in-law, Barbara Thomas. We acknowledge you. Happy Mother's Day. And Cian, happy Mother's Day. Tracy, we love you. And Miss Beulah, we love you. Azaria, thank you for helping your mom to get the tech thing happening. Thank you for allowing us to have that authentic Wi-Fi reality of life. You know what I mean? This is a real conversation. We're not being sedity. This is a real conversation. So thank you for allowing us to be authentic. To Carmen, Speecho, you know how much we love you, we value you. Thank you so much. I'll catch those and we'll stir it right back to you. Much love to your entire family, to your mom, to your mother-in-law, To my brother from another mother as well, thank you for being an amazing friend, mother, and all that you are. And then to Lucy Douglas, so grateful for you. Happy Mother's Day, Nan. We love you. We value you. We're so grateful for you. I see Janice Hartman has just said thank you. That's another strong Darskian sister. We just want to shout out the Darskian sisters one more time. They're strong in the chat. All right, we're gonna shout them up because you all know for a while it was tough for us Darskian folks to forgive us. You and Carmen and Bobby and Mr. Rebecca, you had your time for. I just want to just get and shout out the Darskian sisters for a second. You know what I mean? We love you all. You know, we're still recovering. We're still healing from the trauma. You know what I'm saying? But no, it's beautiful. And we just want to love, just say we love you and thank you. And to every person that's watching, be encouraged. All right. I know it's a difficult time, but we're going to get through it. You're getting through it. And just know that so amazing life today is possible. Somebody asked, when's the next show? You better subscribe so you can stay tuned. But they're coming far more frequently. My mom and I are going to be sharing, and we're going to be bringing some of the amazing people in our circle to you. All right. So with that, is there someone who just feels like you want to pray for the mothers out there? Someone wants to pray. I want to just sort of feel it. I'm a feel type guy. I like to be able to feel it. Is there someone who just wants to pray for mothers? We've said a lot, right? We've talked about mothers maybe who have experienced loss. We've talked about maybe mothers who are single mothers who are working 2 and 3 jobs, mothers who are tired, mothers who are trying to have children, right? Some folks, like, this is a tough one because it's like, I want to be a mother and I can't have children right now. We want to pray that God will release, the wombs of mothers who may be wrestling right now. If will they have a child? I want to just lift them up. So is there someone who just feels compelled to pray today? And if not, I'll invite someone to pray. But I just want to just sort of give you the opportunity to maybe volunteer, and then we'll close out with the song that we have that we want to share with you.
I'll pray.
Appreciate you, Heather.
Okay. Dear Jesus, we thank you so much for this time that we've spent together today, God. We thank you that you're all seeing and all knowing, and that you are the ultimate parent, God, to us, Lord. And we thank you for this weekend and this time that we've had together to chat, God, about mothers, Lord. We want to celebrate every mother that's here, Lord. We thank you for allowing mothers to give us life, God. And today, Lord, I want to pray for every mother, every woman out there who aspires to be a mother, God, for the pregnant mom, Lord, for someone who's aborted their baby, God. I want to pray for guidance, for forgiveness, God, for blessings, God. I pray that you would bless every woman under the sound of my voice, every mother who is listening, Lord. I pray that you would touch them, give them hope, give them patience, give them love, God, give them the vision that they need for their family, God. I pray that you would bless the mother who's struggling with the children who have strayed away from you, God. I pray for the young mother who is trying to balance everything right now, trying to figure out how to mother, God. I pray that you would help them to submit to you and submit their ways, God, so that you would make our path straight, God. I want to pray for somebody who feels like giving up on motherhood, God. They want to walk away from their children, Lord. I pray that you would just embrace them, God. Wrap your arms around them right now, Lord. I pray for the person who is sad because they've lost their mom, God, and this time is just magnifying their sadness, Lord. I pray that you would bring them peace and comfort, Lord, that you would be a parent to them, God, that you would bring the good memories, God, to mind. I pray for the mother who's lost a child, who has no one to say Happy Mother's Day to them, God. I pray that you would give them peace and love, God, and fill the voids in their life right now, Lord. In the name of Jesus, God, I pray that you would just bless us and be with us. Give us wisdom as we lead our households. Lord, help us that we may walk with you, God, so that everyone and that everything that we touch will be reflective of the love that you put in our hearts, God, that they may know you. God, is our ultimate prayer as mothers, Lord, that we may bring our children and our families to you, that one day we may be able to look up and say that it was worth it all, God, that we would look up and say, Lord, this is our Lord. We have waited for you and you will save us, God. Yeah. Lead us and guide us as we have to mother in a time like there's never been, God. This is a crazy time, Jesus. I pray for healing for somebody who's suffering from COVID, from any diseases, God. I pray for wellness for the mothers, God, who's got to hold and take care of so much, God. I pray for peace, for guidance, Lord. Be with us. Don't leave us, Lord. We need you more than ever before. And at this moment, God, I pray that you would give us a hope in our hearts, Lord, that you are with us, that you will never leave us or forsake us, God. I thank you for every mother here, Lord, and I pray that our blessings would be multiplied, that we would continue to learn how to share every bit of love, God. Where we don't have love, give us love. Where we don't have kindness, give us kindness. Where we don't have patience, God, give us the strength and the energy that we need to be patient, God. We never stop being mothers, and we thank you for this gift that you have entrusted to us, Lord. We thank you so much for each mother that's on this live right now, God, and the people that will see it to come, God. Bless them. Help little to become much, God, because we placed it in your hands today. In your name, I do pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Heather, for the prayer. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you enjoy this video as we close out. Be encouraged. We love you, panelists. We love you, mothers. Happy Mother's Day. So amazing life today is possible. Go ahead and claim it. God bless you. We'll see you next time.
Amen.
Amen. Happy Mother's Day.
No, no, no.
I love it.
Loved it, loved it, loved it.
That was good
Love
stuff.
it. Let 'em-
Awesome.
Love that song. Love that song. Love that song.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Happy Mother's Day, ladies.
Happy Mother's
Happy
Day.
Mother's Day. Happy
It
Mother's
was
Day.
awesome to hang out
Happy
with
Mother's Day,
you.
mommy.
We need to do this again.
Yes.
Everybody.
Thank you, Ty, for the invite. I really appreciate it. It was good. Carmen, good to see you.
Love you,
Alicia,
Shay.
Bobby.
Good to see
Happy
you.
Mother's Day, everybody in Bermuda, all family and
Yes.
friends. Big heart.
Yes,
Thank you, Miss Pat.
Love
Brand News.
you.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
great one,
I think
guys.
Thank you
I'm
so
not sure whether
much.
we're still streaming, so I want to make sure that Brand News